Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when everything feels uncertain. You plan, you work hard, and yet things don't go the way you expected. The doors you prayed to open remain closed. The opportunities you hoped for slip away. And in those moments, it's easy to question, why is this happening to me? But let me remind you today, God doesn't make mistakes. His plan for your life is greater than anything you could ever imagine. The delays, the disappointments, even the detours, they all serve a purpose. Think about a puzzle. When you're holding just one piece, it may not make sense. It might even seem out of place. But when the whole picture comes together, you realize that every single piece was necessary. That's exactly how God works in our lives. You may not understand why you're facing struggles right now. You may be wondering why certain prayers haven't been answered yet. But trust this, God's timing is perfect. He knows when and how to align everything for your good. See, sometimes we want something so badly that we don't realize it's not the best for us. But God, in His wisdom, sees the full picture. What feels like rejection is often protection. What seems like a loss is actually making space for something better. The key is to have faith, even when you don't see the way forward. To trust, even when the road is unclear, because one day you will look back and realize that every struggle, every delay, every unanswered prayer was leading you to something greater. So today, I encourage you, let go of the worry, the doubt, and the fear. Walk forward with faith, knowing that God's plan for you is not just good, it's perfect. And when you trust in that plan, you'll find peace, purpose, and blessings beyond what you could ever imagine. God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our expectations or desires. In life, we often make plans, set goals, and work hard to achieve them, but sometimes things don't happen as quickly as we want. We may pray for an opportunity, a breakthrough, or a solution to a problem, yet it feels as if nothing is happening. It's during these times that we must remind ourselves that God operates on a timeline far greater than our own. His understanding of time is beyond human comprehension because He sees the full picture while we only see a fragment. When things don't go as planned, frustration and doubt can creep in. We may question why our prayers go unanswered or why we have to endure delays and difficulties. It's easy to think that God is not listening or that He has forgotten us, but the truth is, He is always at work behind the scenes. Every delay, every setback, and every waiting period serves a purpose in His greater plan. There are times when we want something so badly that we fail to see whether it is truly right for us. We often believe we are ready for certain blessings, but God, in His wisdom, knows the right time to grant them. If we receive something too soon, we may not be able to handle it properly. It could become a burden rather than a blessing. Consider the example of a child who desperately wants to drive a car. The child may plead with their parents to let them take the wheel, but a responsible parent knows that the child is not yet mature enough to drive safely. It is not out of cruelty that the parent denies the request, but out of love and wisdom. The parent knows that allowing the child to drive before they are ready could lead to harm. In the same way, God sometimes withholds certain things from us because He knows we are not yet prepared for them. He wants to develop our character, strengthen our faith, and refine us before granting what we desire. Throughout the Bible, we see countless examples of God's perfect timing. One of the most powerful stories is that of Joseph. Joseph had a dream that he would become a great leader, but his journey to that position was filled with hardship. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused, and imprisoned for years. If Joseph had given up in frustration, believing that his dreams would never come true, he would have missed out on the incredible plan God had for him. But Joseph remained faithful, and in God's perfect timing, he was elevated to a position of great power in Egypt, ultimately saving many lives, including his own family. Similarly, Abraham and Sarah waited for years for the fulfillment of God's promise that they would have a son. As time passed and they grew older, doubt crept in. They even tried to take matters into their own hands, which led to complications. However, God's plan had not changed. When the time was right, despite all odds, Sarah gave birth to Isaac. Their story teaches us that God does not forget his promises, but he fulfills them at the perfect time. Waiting on God's timing requires faith and trust. It is not easy to be patient when we are eager for answers or change. In today's world, where everything is fast-paced and instant gratification is the norm, waiting can feel unbearable. However, waiting is not wasted time. It is in the waiting that God molds us, strengthens us, and prepares us for what is ahead. He uses delays to build our character, deepen our trust in him, and align circumstances in ways we could never arrange on our own. There are times when we may feel that God is late. We may face situations where we desperately need a breakthrough, and it seems like time is running out. But God is never late. His timing is always precise. Just as the sun rises at the appointed time each day, and the seasons change in their proper order, God's plans unfold exactly when they are meant to. Consider the story of Lazarus. When Jesus heard that his friend Lazarus was sick, he did not rush to heal him immediately. Instead, he waited. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. To those around him, it seemed too late, but Jesus had a greater plan. If he had healed Lazarus before he died, people would have seen it as just another healing. However, by raising Lazarus from the dead, Jesus demonstrated his power over life and death in a way that no one could deny. What seemed like a delay was actually a setup for something greater. In our own lives, we may experience moments when we feel like God is taking too long. We may not understand why certain prayers go unanswered, or why we have to endure long seasons of struggle. But one day, we will look back and realize that God was never absent. He was working all along, arranging things in ways we could not see at the time. When we trust in God's timing, we find peace. Instead of being consumed by worry and impatience, we learn to rest in the knowledge that he is in control. Even when we don't understand the delays, we can choose to believe that he is working all things together for our good. Instead of forcing things to happen in our own strength, we can surrender to his plan and allow him to lead us in the right direction. God's timing also teaches us gratitude. When we finally receive what we have been waiting for, we appreciate it more because we know the journey it took to get there. We recognize that it was not by our own power, but by his grace. We see how every step, even the painful ones, played a role in bringing us to where we are meant to be. Trusting God's timing does not mean we stop working toward our goals or give up on our dreams. It means we do our part while allowing God to do his. It means we move forward in faith, knowing that he will open the right doors at the right time. It means we pray, believe, and remain patient, even when the answers don't come as quickly as we hope. There will always be moments in life when we don't understand why things happen the way they do. We may feel like we are stuck, waiting for something that seems long overdue. But in those moments, we must hold on to the truth that God is never early, never late. He is always on time. What he has planned for us is far greater than anything we could arrange for ourselves. And when his plan finally unfolds, we will realize that every wait, every delay, and every unanswered prayer was a necessary part of his perfect timing. Challenges are an inevitable part of life. And while they may seem like obstacles, they actually serve a deeper purpose in shaping our character and building our strength. Every challenge we face, whether it is emotional, physical, financial, or spiritual, is an opportunity for growth. When we go through difficult times, we often feel overwhelmed, wondering why we have to endure so much hardship. However, looking back, we can see that the struggles we once thought would break us actually made us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Life is full of uncertainties, and no one is immune to difficulties. At some point, everyone experiences pain, loss, disappointment, or failure. It is in these moments that our true strength is developed. Just as a muscle grows stronger when it is put under stress, Our inner strength is built when we face adversity. If we lived a life without challenges, we would never know our true potential. It is only when we are pushed beyond our limits that we discover how much we are truly capable of handling. Difficulties teach us endurance. When we go through tough times, we are forced to keep going, even when we feel like giving up. Endurance is not just about surviving hardships, but about learning how to thrive despite them. Every time we face a problem and overcome it, we build resilience, making it easier to handle future challenges. The more we endure, the more we realize that we are capable of overcoming anything that comes our way. Challenges also teach us patience. In a world where we are used to instant results, difficulties remind us that some things take time. When things do not go as planned, we often feel frustrated and impatient. But challenges force us to slow down, to trust the process, and to learn to wait. Waiting is never easy, but it builds our ability to remain calm and composed in the face of uncertainty. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. Adversity also brings out creativity and problem-solving skills. When everything is going smoothly, we do not feel the need to think outside the box or find new solutions. But when we face problems, we are forced to adapt, to find ways to overcome obstacles, and to think differently. Some of the greatest inventions, breakthroughs, and discoveries have come from people who faced significant challenges and refused to be defeated by them. Difficult times push us to become more resourceful, to develop new skills, and to grow in ways we never imagined. Another important lesson that challenges teach us is humility. When we go through struggles, we are reminded that we are not in control of everything. Hard times break down our pride and help us understand that we need help, guidance, and support from others. They remind us that we are human, that we have weaknesses, and that we cannot do everything on our own. This realization makes us more compassionate and understanding toward others who are also struggling. It deepens our empathy and allows us to connect with people on a deeper level. Difficulties also reveal who we truly are. When everything is going well, it is easy to be positive and strong. But when we face hardship, our true character is tested. It is in these moments that we see whether we are patient or impatient, hopeful or discouraged, faithful or doubtful. Challenges strip away our masks and show us who we really are. They give us the opportunity to work on our weaknesses and become better versions of ourselves. Failure is one of the greatest teachers, and it often comes through challenges. While failure can be painful, it is also one of the most powerful tools for growth. Every failure teaches us something new. It helps us understand what does not work, where we need to improve, and how we can do better next time. Many of the most successful people in history have faced repeated failures before achieving greatness. They did not allow their failures to define them, but used them as stepping stones toward success. Challenges also strengthen our faith. When we go through difficult times, we are forced to rely on something greater than ourselves. We learn to trust that everything happens for a reason, even when we cannot see it at the moment. Hardships deepen our spiritual strength by teaching us to surrender control and trust in the bigger picture. When we come out of a difficult season, we often realize that it was during those hard times that we grew the most in our faith. Struggles also teach us gratitude. When life is easy, we often take things for granted, but when we experience loss or hardship, we begin to appreciate even the smallest blessing. A person who has experienced hunger appreciates food more. Someone who has been lonely values companionship. A person who has faced financial difficulties understands the importance of stability. Challenges shift our perspective and help us see life in a new way, making us more grateful for the things we once overlooked. One of the most important aspects of challenges is that they prepare us for future opportunities. Sometimes we may not understand why we are facing difficulties, but later in life we realize that those experiences were preparing us for something greater. Every hardship we endure equips us with the skills, wisdom, and resilience we need to handle bigger responsibilities and opportunities. Without challenges, we would not be prepared for the blessings that are ahead. Difficult times also help us build deeper relationships. When we go through struggles, we realize the importance of true friendships and support systems. We learn who is really there for us and who is not. Hard times bring people together, creating bonds that are built on shared experiences and mutual understanding. The people who stand by us in our lowest moments become the ones we trust the most. Challenges shape our mindset. When we develop the habit of overcoming difficulties, we start to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. Instead of fearing hardship, we learn to embrace it, knowing that it will only make us stronger. This mindset allows us to face life with confidence, knowing that no matter what comes our way, we have the strength to overcome it. Growth never happens in comfort. If we always stayed in our comfort zones, we would never evolve or reach our full potential. It is the challenges, struggles, and difficulties that push us to grow into the people we are meant to be. Every time we overcome a challenge, we become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Faith over fear is a principle that encourages us to trust in something greater than ourselves, even when faced with uncertainty, challenges, or hardships. Life is full of situations that can cause anxiety and fear. Uncertain futures, unexpected losses, difficult decisions, and overwhelming obstacles. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but when we allow it to control us, it can prevent us from living a fulfilling life. Faith, on the other hand, allows us to move forward despite uncertainty, knowing that we are guided and supported even when we cannot see the full picture. Fear often arises when we feel that we are not in control. It makes us doubt our abilities, our purpose, and even our future. It can make us feel trapped, as if we have no way out of a difficult situation. Fear whispers that things will never change, that we are not strong enough, that failure is inevitable. It fills our minds with worst-case scenarios, making it difficult to take action. It paralyzes us, keeping us from pursuing opportunities, stepping out of our comfort zones, or taking risks that could lead to growth. The more we give in to fear, the more power it gains over our lives. It slowly takes away our peace, replacing it with worry, stress, and doubt. Faith, however, teaches us that we do not have to know all the answers in order to move forward. It allows us to trust that things will work out, even if we do not understand how or when. Faith gives us the courage to take steps toward our goals, even when the path ahead is unclear. It reminds us that we are not alone, that there is a purpose for everything we go through, and that we are being prepared for something greater. Faith replaces fear with confidence, peace, and strength. It does not mean that we will never feel afraid, but it means that we do not let fear dictate our choices. One of the biggest differences between fear and faith is the way they shape our mindset. Fear focuses on limitations. It tells us what we cannot do, why things will not work out, and how everything could go wrong. It fills our minds with negative thoughts, making it difficult to see possibilities or solutions. Faith, on the other hand, shifts our focus to possibilities. It allows us to see past our current struggles and believe that something better is ahead. It encourages us to trust in the process, knowing that even setbacks are part of our growth. Instead of dwelling on what could go wrong, faith helps us believe in what could go right. Fear often keeps us stuck in the past or worried about the future. It makes us replay past mistakes, failures, and disappointments, convincing us that we are not capable of success. It also makes us anxious about the future, causing us to worry about things that have not even happened yet. This constant cycle of regret and anxiety prevents us from fully living in the present. Faith allows us to break free from this cycle by reminding us that the past does not define us and that the future is in greater hands. It helps us focus on the present moment, knowing that each step we take is leading us to where we are meant to be. Fear often grows stronger in times of uncertainty. When we face situations where we do not know what will happen next, fear fills in the gaps with doubt and worry. It tells us that we will not have enough, that we are not good enough, or that we will not be able to handle what is ahead. Faith, however, teaches us to embrace uncertainty with confidence. It reminds us that not knowing the future does not mean that the future is bad. Just because we cannot see the way, faith allows us to trust that even when things feel uncertain, they are still unfolding exactly as they should. Fear often isolates us. It makes us feel alone in our struggles, as if no one else understands what we're going through. It convinces us that we must carry our burdens alone, leading to feelings of loneliness and despair. Faith reminds us that we are never truly alone. It connects us to something greater than ourselves, whether that be a higher power, a purpose, or a deeper sense of inner strength. Faith gives us the reassurance that we are supported, even when we cannot see it. It reminds us that there are always people who care, who are willing to help, and who are walking a similar journey. Another important difference between fear and faith is how they influence our actions. Fear causes hesitation. It makes us overthink decisions, second-guess ourselves, and avoid taking risks. It convinces us that we must wait until we feel completely ready before taking a step forward. But if we always wait until we feel ready, we may never move at all. Faith, on the other hand, encourages action. It does not require us to have all the answers before we start. It simply asks us to take the next step. Faith teaches us that progress is made one step at a time, and that we will figure things out along the way. Fear often comes from a place of doubt. It makes us question whether we are capable, worthy, or strong enough. It causes us to focus on our weaknesses rather than our strengths. Faith reminds us that we are capable, not because we have all the answers, but because we are supported by something greater than ourselves. It tells us that we are stronger than we think and that we have everything we need to overcome whatever comes our way. Faith gives us the confidence to keep moving forward even when we do not have all the answers. Fear can also create unnecessary suffering. When we worry about things that might happen, we put ourselves through stress and anxiety before anything has even occurred. We play out worst-case scenarios in our minds, experiencing pain that may not even be real. Faith frees us from this unnecessary suffering by reminding us to focus on what is real, not on imagined fears. It teaches us to trust that things will unfold as they are meant to without adding extra worry to our lives. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is that it gives us peace. Fear fills our minds with chaos, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions. It keeps us in a constant state of stress, always worrying about what might go wrong. Faith, however, brings a deep sense of inner peace. It allows us to let go of what we cannot control and focus on what we can. It reminds us that we do not have to have everything figured out in order to be okay. Even in the midst of difficulties, faith gives us the assurance that we will find our way. Fear tells us that failure is final, that mistakes define us, and that setbacks mean we are not good enough. Faith tells us that failure is a lesson, that mistakes are opportunities for growth, and that setbacks are simply part of the journey. It reminds us that every challenge we face is shaping us into the person we are meant to become. Fear tries to keep us stuck in one place, but faith encourages us to keep moving forward. There will always be moments in life when we feel afraid. Fear is a natural part of being human, but we do not have to let fear control us. We can choose to live by faith instead, knowing that even in uncertainty, even in challenges, and even in moments of doubt, we are never alone. Faith does not eliminate fear, but it gives us the strength to rise above it, to move forward with confidence, and to trust that we are exactly where we are meant to be. Delays are one of the most frustrating experiences in life. When we set goals, make plans, or expect certain things to happen within a specific time frame, any disruption can feel discouraging. Waiting is difficult, especially when we do not understand why things are not happening as quickly as we would like. It is in these moments of delay that doubt and impatience creep in, making us question whether we are on the right path or if we are being held back for no reason. However, when we look back at past delays, we often realize that they were not setbacks, but rather necessary pauses that played a crucial role in shaping our journey. Every delay has a purpose, even if we cannot see it at the time. One of the most important lessons that delays teach us is patience. In a world that values speed and instant results, waiting can feel unbearable. We live in a society where everything is designed for convenience. Instant messaging, fast food, same-day delivery. So when life forces us to wait, it can feel like an unnecessary burden. However, patience is a valuable trait that strengthens our character. Learning to wait with a positive attitude helps us develop resilience, emotional stability, and a deeper understanding of timing. When we embrace delays rather than resist them, we open ourselves to personal growth. Delays often serve as a form of protection. Sometimes we want something so badly that we do not stop to consider whether it is truly right for us. We push forward, convinced that we need to achieve a certain goal or be in a specific place at a particular time. But what if rushing into something too soon would lead to disappointment, failure, or harm? There are countless stories of people who pursued opportunities too quickly, only to realize they were not ready for them. A delay can be the very thing that prevents us from making a costly mistake. It is often a hidden blessing, redirecting us towards something better. Every delay provides an opportunity for preparation. Just because something is not happening now does not mean it will never happen. Sometimes we are simply not ready for the things we are asking for. If we were to receive certain blessings or opportunities too soon, we might not have the maturity, knowledge, or skills to handle them properly. Growth takes time, and delays give us the chance to develop into the person we need to be in order to fully embrace what is ahead. Whether it is a career opportunity, a relationship, or a personal goal, preparation is key. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is time that allows us to refine ourselves, learn valuable lessons, and build a strong foundation. Delays also serve as a way to shift our perspective. When we are forced to wait, we often reflect on our desires and intentions. Sometimes we realize that what we were chasing was not truly what we needed. A delay can reveal whether our motives are aligned with our values and purpose. It allows us to step back and reevaluate whether we are heading in the right direction or if adjustments need to be made. Many times, what we think we want is only a fraction of what we are actually meant to experience. A delay gives us the space to see beyond our limited perspective and trust that something even greater is on the horizon. Another purpose of delays is to strengthen our faith. When things do not happen according to our timeline, it is easy to become frustrated and lose hope. We may start questioning whether our dreams will ever come true. However, delays test our ability to trust in the bigger picture. Faith is not about seeing immediate results. It is about believing that everything is working out even when there is no visible proof. Delays challenge us to rely on trust rather than certainty. When we hold on to faith during periods of waiting, we develop an unshakable confidence that allows us to move forward even when we do not have all the answers. Sometimes delays happen because something better is being prepared for us. We often have a specific idea of how we want things to unfold, but life has a way of surprising us with something even greater. If everything happened exactly when and how we wanted, we might settle for less than what is truly meant for us. Delays create space for better opportunities, relationships, and experiences to enter our lives. What may seem like a frustrating roadblock is often a redirection towards something far beyond what we imagined. Delays also teach us the importance of gratitude. When things take longer than expected, it is easy to focus on what we do not have rather than appreciating what we do. The waiting period allows us to cultivate gratitude for our current situation. It helps us recognize the small victories, the lessons we have learned, and the progress we have made. When we learn to be content in the waiting, we find joy in the journey rather than just in the destination. Gratitude shifts our focus from frustration to appreciation, making the delay feel less like an obstacle and more like a valuable experience. Another reason for delays is that they allow us to build endurance. Life is not a race, and meaningful success takes time. If everything came easily, we would not develop the perseverance needed to sustain long-term growth. Endurance is built through struggle, patience, and the ability to keep going even when progress seems slow. Delays force us to push through discomfort, proving to ourselves that we can handle setbacks without giving up. Every challenge we face during a delay strengthens our determination, making us more prepared for the success that lies ahead. There are also times when delays happen because they are teaching us to let go of control. We often try to plan every detail of our lives, believing that if we work hard enough, everything will fall into place exactly as we envision. But life does not always work that way. Unexpected setbacks remind us that we are not in control of everything, and that is okay. Letting go of the need to control every outcome allows us to find peace in uncertainty. It helps us understand that delays are not punishments, but rather signs that there is a greater plan unfolding. Delays also bring clarity. When we are forced to wait, we gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters. We start to see which goals are worth pursuing and which ones are not aligned with our long-term happiness. Clarity comes through reflection, and reflection is only possible when we take a step back. If everything happened instantly, we would not have the time to evaluate whether we are on the right path. Delays provide us with the space we need to gain insight, adjust our direction, and make choices that align with our purpose. One of the most powerful aspects of delays is that they teach us resilience. Life is full of unexpected turns, and things will not always go according to plan. Developing the ability to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward is essential. When we face delays with a mindset of resilience, we become unstoppable. We learn that setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather part of the journey. Every time we overcome a delay, we build confidence in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. In the end, delays are not obstacles. They are opportunities in disguise. They shape us, teach us, and prepare us for what is ahead. They allow us to grow in patience, faith, and resilience. They protect us from rushing into things that are not meant for us and open doors to even greater possibilities. While waiting can be difficult, it is in the waiting that we learn the most valuable lessons. Every delay has a purpose, and when we trust the process, we come to realize that the timing of everything is exactly as it should be.